Hello, podcast. It is the Vault here.
What's
Um,
going on?
it's your boy Nelly Monster 12,
I'm Squizz.
and that's the man right there. Um, we got face cams
I
now.
was about to say, firstly, off the bat, it's
Mm,
us. What's going on? It's good to have you all staring at us. I wish I could say
yes,
it's good to see you, but
we we did say we'll
yeah,
get
yeah, yeah, yeah.
cameras.
We got like a, as you can see, we got like a pretty basic, like, I guess, overlay. You know, it's semi-permanent. It's definitely up to changes. It was just something we came up with on the fly, but
On the board.
I think it's pretty cool looking. It's got some neon-y woo, all the hip shit that's in.
We just need either Subway Surf in the background or a brick wall.
Or a
You
three-legged
know how it
dog.
goes. All right. Well, let's get straight into this episode.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
we're going to be talking about housing. Let's talk about housing.
Style housing. I like it.
Let's start with it.
We've got a few things to cover today, but we'll kick it off with some housing. Well, I guess
We
go ahead, mate. Let us fucking.
well, well, to begin with, he has a lot of info already sorted, um, in front of his face. I do not. I just have some other stuff.
All right.
Um,
Yep.
but the housing market, is mainly what we were going to talk about with when it comes to, uh, this generation, um, work ethic with this,
So
housing, cost of living, stuff like that.
I think to put it in a very broad spectrum, we're going to be talking about the current state of the economy and how it relates to our generation slash, you know, the upcoming people. People born from like 1990 onwards who are going to have to deal with
Yes.
the current, inflation, potential economic collapses. Let's hope not, and et cetera, and how statistics as to back then versus now and all that shit. Just to kind of like simplify it, I guess it kind of sounded like we were
Yes.
rambling.
Yes, that is the one. He's got more like info than what I do on it. But to start it off, let's talk about the housing and current prices and what it means for the new gens like me, because I'm kind of stupid. So let's talk about that.
All right, bet.
Now, you can bring up what info we've found. Let's start with old houses,
Yeah, yeah. All right.
like old to what it is now, which is crazy, absolutely crazy.
Let's start with a little story. Right? Picture this: you're living your dream life, 1970. It's 1970. You're working your 9 to 5, laboring away in Australia. I'm not too sure what the annual income was back then. However, you've got 20 grand saved up that you've been saving for years, $20,000 of hard-earned money, and you buy yourself a pretty above average home. All right, that would have set you back in 1970. The average house in Sydney, one of the most popular cities in Australia, in
Mm-hmm.
1970 would have set you back $18,700. Now back then, in 1970, 18,000. So I couldn't get the Australian conversion, but in US in 1970, $18,000 in today's money was 141,000. So in 1970, the average Australian house in Sydney was about $200,000, maybe 180. Um, yeah, let's jump up a few years. Man, that kind of sounded all over the place. Anyway, let's
It
jump
made
up.
sense nonetheless.
Let's jump up 25 years to 1995. All right, that same house that you bought for $18,700 just 25 years ago is now worth a few grand shy of 200,000.
Which
That's
is
in
crazy.
1995, and yeah, okay. Uh, in comparison, in 2003, less than 10 years later, that price more than doubled to $454,000 being the average price in Sydney. And
Mm-hmm.
then we jump forward to the March quarter this year, 2022, Sydney median house price, average house price, $1.245 million.
Which is outrageous. There's no way people
Absolutely.
can afford it. Like, no way people can afford anything to do with houses these days when it's just going up in price, and then our wages don't increase. You know, like it's ridiculous.
To put that into perspective, from 2021 to 2022 alone was an increase of 16.4% in house value, average house value. So that would take you from 100,000 to $116,400, which is probably way more money than people can save. Like, I don't know about you, but I can't save 16 and a half grand in a year, even if I like was the strictest person on the planet. I just can't.
You know, it's actually ridiculous, and with the fact that people nowadays, oh, it's like all over TikTok how people's like, ah, you know, you save up like this interest, the 5% of this, say 300,000, 5%, 15K, right there. You can just put a down payment on, you know, first home owner buyer scheme, but it's just not gonna work with inflation and with especially that it's going up to at least 7.5% by I believe the end of December, being Christmas, and it's ridiculous because people don't want to buy homes now. It's just gone up way too much in value.
I agree, especially that kind of coincides with the rent increase too. Rent has increased. I don't know the exact numbers, but me personally, in the space of 12 months, my rental increase per week has gone up $65 a week in the past year. So I went from paying just over 300. Actually, it was, yeah. So we're going to be honest here. I was paying $340 a week in rent. I'm now paying 400 a week in rent for a pretty average house outside of the city in a rural city, not even in a capital city. It's not even the capital city. It's just rural area of a fairly small city, population like 100 and something thousand. 400 a week, man. I
Yeah.
In a shitty neighborhood, might I add. There's a lot of crime here, so
Yeah.
there's
Yeah,
some
no,
shit going down.
it's ridiculous. Like I know people. You said 65, right? That's what the increase was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Do you?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'm currently still with my mum. You know, I'm not very old, so I haven't moved out. I'm looking up to obviously, just not right now. Um, but I know some people say the next door neighbors, they have gone from 380 a week and have gotten $130 increase, which is
Holy shit.
ridiculous. And I've told my mum as what we should do for an idea is contact our real estate agent, ask him to talk to the owner so we can get an idea of what the increase might be by the end of the year because that's when our lease will be up in I
Uh-huh.
believe February. So we're hoping to get a little bit of notice, but they don't do it, you know, this much in advance.
Yeah, rental
So
agencies are
we're
really stingy like that.
yeah, so we're kind of afraid that we're going to have to be paying maybe nearly 500. And I can't lie to you, we are in the smallest, most fucked up house like imaginable. We have so many people living here, and none of them pay rent. Just half of them just don't work, don't give a shit. It's ridiculous. Like we can barely afford literally anything. So it's really difficult with how prices are nowadays, let alone with wages not increasing.
Just on top of
So
that, so just in terms of regional, I've got some statistics here as well. Regional Australia. So the Sydney, the 1.245 million was in like the Sydney and out in the suburbs around there. Just for regional, in New South Wales, your average house price as of this year is $800,000. That is absurd, given that my grandparents, not like probably a little bit less than 10 years ago, uh, in a pretty populated area, bought a 4 bedroom house with a granny flat, double block, which is like two blocks in a street merged into one property, double
yeah.
blocked, 4 bedroom, massive house for like $360,000. And
What?
I don't know if they've gotten it quoted, but I'm pretty sure that property these days is nearing $1 million in value. That's just in 10 years. That's stupid, man. Like how
That is
how does our
fucked.
generation compete with that? I am on like 40 or 50 grand a year after tax,
Mm.
and well over half of that goes towards bills. So that gives me potentially $10,000 to $12,000 a year to save. That's already 2 to 3 years just for a deposit, provided I don't have any unexpected bills where I need to take out of my savings, provided I don't have any holidays.
Everyday
That's
expenses.
yeah. Like it would take me at least 5 years to be able to save just for a deposit. Just for a deposit. That's not even paying the mortgage, anything like that. That's just for the initial deposit. It's
It's
fucked.
actually ridiculous. Like I was talking to Squizz just beforehand
Uh-huh.
about wanting to save up as like a deposit first homeowner buyer scheme, but after like talking about it, we were like, yeah, no real point because it's just gonna mess you up with inflation, and at the end of the year, it's not really gonna do anything. And hopefully, with them locking a few prices and depending on where you are, you might be able to buy it say next year, but by then it's still probably going to just increase even more. And
Yeah.
it's ridiculous because anyone nowadays cannot afford anything with the rent, unexpected bills, cost of living, like even groceries.
Oh,
Groceries,
mate.
like bro, I spent $50 at Woolworths today. I bought cat litter, $15. I need to support my boy. I bought him two wet foods, which like the small little dine ones, like those are like $1.50 each. They used to be 75 cents.
Bro, that's
Yeah, like
double.
the soft drinks that you used to be able to get when I was in like primary school, and it is ridiculous.
Now,
And that's just
sorry.
that. Sorry, that's just that. And then I bought, what was it? An iced coffee, just one iced coffee. That was already $4, which is stupid, as well as like a small pack of chicken nuggets, costing me $50, like nearly 5 6 items, $50.
That with your cat food, I know a lot of people listening would probably be like, "Oh, it's only an extra 75 cents. What's wrong with that?" But like you got to
Oh,
understand from
oh,
percentage wise, from a percentage wise, that's literally double the price.
probably yeah.
Like it just blow that out, just blow that up a little bit to a different item that might say will cost you $5 and now you're paying $10 for that. Like my pet food,
Mm.
my I
Yeah,
say
but that
pet
was for
food.
2 tins.
So my dog food, I buy 7.5 kilo bags every like week and a half.
Yeah,
I literally used to be get them. I used to be able to get them for $19 for a 7.5 kilo bag of food, and
yeah.
I'm now paying $35
Yeah, I've
for
honestly
just for dog
noticed
food.
that. Yeah, because I work at Coles, I'm stocking like most of the bulk stuff, and pet food is a part of that bulk stuff. It's ridiculous because I've seen one day, right? So one day I was stocking all this stuff, and all right, cat food, yeah, done. And obviously I see the tags. It's like $15 for like the biggest one, maybe $7 for like a really small 200 gram pack. And then I move over to the dog food, and say I don't know what day it was, but say on a Wednesday, I stocked dog food. It was like $20, and it was like for a 7.5 kilo pack or an 8 kilo pack, whatever it was. Fair enough. And then the next day, we had someone come in, change all of our prices, and it went up to one brand in particular went up to $40, and then I had to bring it
Oh,
back down again, like by another five.
Jesus,
Yeah, it is ridiculous. Same thing happened with all of our milk. Our milk was like a 3 liter, maybe $3.70, and it went up to $5 for home brand milk.
bro.
Home brand milk, bro. Come on, it is ridiculous. I cannot afford such a thing.
Speaking of cost increases, like where I work, we deal a lot in our. Okay, we build stuff. Um, we deal a lot with aluminium and timber, and I
Yep.
know I know based on what my boss has told me that in the past 6 months, our cost for aluminium has almost more than doubled, and timber the timber industry apparently is really struggling. I haven't looked into it too much, but we're paying I think like 70-75% more on top of that as well. Like our profit and like the margins at our work are hurting right now.
Oh yeah,
So we've
wasn't there
had to
like?
like, yep.
No, you go, you go.
Oh, I was just gonna say we've had to like increase the price for what we sell like exponentially. It's crazy.
Because I heard about there being like some sort of timber shortage, like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
month, like a month or a month and a half ago.
yeah,
I didn't know that was like a genuine thing.
yeah. It's because of the housing industry, man. They're like, even where I live alone, literally where I live alone. Yeah, I suppose that kind of makes sense. The city in which I live in,
Yeah.
uh, we have so many new housing areas that are just all these new houses that are just timber structures, and like it's dozens and dozens getting built each day. It's fucking crazy. I don't know how we can support it. It's not going to. It's a bubble. It's gonna pop. Anyway.
You know, it's actually stupid, and the fact that our lovely boy ScoMo, um, just said buy a house like what, a year or two ago,
Just
whatever he
buy a
fucking said.
house.
Just buy a dude. That man right there, just buy a house. You know, because everyone can do that apparently. Is it's just ridiculous, and there's no way that anyone nowadays can, no matter how old you are, anyways, can support just buying a house
See, I
or
think
cost of living.
my personal opinion is I think the government knows that, and they know that we can't. Hence why they allowed people to dip into their super to kind of like take out of their superannuation to buy a house, which is stupid, by the way. For anyone
That's
who
a
did
thing.
that, yeah, they did it
What?
just into the pandemic. They allowed people to take up to $25,000 out of their own super. For anyone listening who isn't Australian, superannuation is like every week you pay a percentage of your wage towards your superannuation, which you can't touch until you retire. And that was how things worked up until the pandemic. Is no matter what, no matter who you contacted, unless you were bankrupt, you can't touch your superannuation, and the government kind of like, I guess, invests it for you. And well, not the government, the like your superannuation company will invest it for you and it'll grow it. And so by the time you retire, you have like a few $100,000 in superannuation you can live off and like get weekly payments from, so you don't have to work. And the government decided that all these people's hard-earned money, you can take 25 grand out to get a house, and they encouraged people to do that. And I think a year later, a an inquest came out, and they looked into it, and people who did that actually ended up in the long run losing, I think, at least $250 to $300,000 out of their super.
What?
Yeah, yeah. And the government was like, everyone should do this. It's the best thing you could do.
I
It
did not
wasn't.
hear about that.
Yeah,
I
no,
did not
it
hear
was.
about that.
Yeah, it was everywhere. I remember seeing it a few times.
That is so fucked.
Yep.
That is actually ridiculous.
East crazy, man.
What? Nah, that's so fucking stupid. Actually, so fucking stupid. I
It,
can't believe that.
it doesn't help that the average wage these days is quite low. Like, where is it?
Mm.
Let me bring up my little statistics I got here. Um, so as of December last year, the average employee was earning $1,200 a week, I believe, before tax, and had an average hourly rate of $36 an hour. Now, if we bring up a little calculator, hold up. Wah. So $36 an hour times your average 40-hour working week minus 2.5 hours of breaks, 37.5 hours times $36 an hour. That's only $1,350 a week before tax, which probably equates to about just under $1,000 a week after tax. I personally would love to have that kind of money, but being a young person, my hourly rate's slightly lower than that.
Me
But
too. By a
yeah.
fucking mile.
So I don't understand how we're meant to buy, at these days going on a $600,000 average house. Anything less than that these days, your quality of life will be shit. It'll be a shit neighborhood. It'll be shit like availabilities. You won't be able to get fast internet, which is obviously crucial these days. It sucks. You're paying at least like $600,000-$700,000 for just a decent house.
And with that, the thing is, when buying a house, people want offers to say that are higher, way higher than
Yeah.
what you can afford. Like I was looking at some earlier, like just for reference on what I could get for whatever I was looking at, and they were awful houses, awful places, already screwed up. Makes sense. You're gonna renovate it probably anyways, but the fact that I seen some of them, I put the limit to like 450,000, and all of them were just screwed, entirely screwed. There was nothing actually good about it, and it's it's just there's no point in buying it when you're not getting anything out of it. It's not worth it. It's just you're just wasting money. They've just screwed up everything with prices and housing. Fucking hate it.
I've just realized
Fucking hate it.
this podcast, this episode is more of a rant rather than
Yeah,
fucking...
fuck you, government. Fucking fuck you, government. You fucking bitch. Take that out of context if you want. Fuck, I'll stand up for myself.
Dude,
God damn,
it's
that's actually ridiculous.
It really is. It's for like on the cost of living stuff too. I want to say, so as of recording this, the cost of fuel in particular has come down quite
Mm.
substantially. Um, you know, now that things have, but I do know that's also only because the government's currently doing a fuel
Oh, they
excess or
took down
something. But yeah, they're marking,
40 cents of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they've forced fuel stations to mark their prices down by 40 cents to help the average Joe at the Bowser, which is lovely. Thank you, government. Fuck the government. Um,
Yeah. Fuck you cunts.
but so I read and heard a few times over the on the radio and on an article I read. I can't remember what the article was. That so about a month ago, fuel companies were paying $1.60 per liter, like
Mm.
bulk, whatever that is, whatever you'd call that. Um, like they to import the fuel, they're paying $1.60 a liter. Yet they were advertising it at the pump for where I lived about $2.20, $2.30 a liter. And
Yeah. Same out.
instead of helping out, the average Joe, they were just raking in all this money and getting rich, while everyone had to pay stupid amounts of money for fuel. That
Yeah.
hurt me
And
because yeah, sorry. Yep.
I think with that 40 cent decrease, I think that's not lasting very much longer either. I'm pretty
No,
sure
I think
that's
it's
going because that was a
September.
liberal
I
thing.
think. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that was a liberal thing, and I just heard that they were getting rid of it. I'm like, oh yeah, this is really sick, man. I'm so glad that I can't even afford fuel as it is, let alone
Yep.
not being able to afford it by another 40 cents, which is just going to fuck me up. I used to pay $20 to fill my car. $20 when it was at like 116. Those were the good old days. And now I'm paying like 70. And that's just me. Other cars, they can pay up to like 400. Fuck that, man.
With all these rising costs of living, I don't blame this generation for adopting all these different like side hustles and get rich quick schemes that we're seeing
Mm.
all over TikTok and all over Facebook and all over everywhere, all
Yeah.
kinds of social media. Like, I don't know, give me some examples. I'm not too sure.
And that people are getting so, what is it, creative. So on my phone, I have some things which I'll grab up now. Some of these things are people going on one drop shipping. It's not as popular as it maybe was 2 years ago, but it's still popular. There's people also going on Etsy selling stuff, Pinterest just creating links, and then having some manufacturer fix up. Uh, say on Pinterest, right? Pinterest, they'll say you're selling a painting or whatever it may be. You can click on that link on Pinterest, the whatever the person's made. I don't know how it fully works. I'm still learning. I'm stupid. But you click on the link and you can get a plugin which will send it to the manufacturer. The manufacturer will say print this photo on a shirt and then send it to you through and that's just from a plugin. And then through them clicking on this link buying it, they will they will just make the money. Like you will make the money. You will pay like say like $1 for it and you'll make like I don't know $12 out of it. But
So,
it's crazy.
so it's kind of like drop shipping, but for
It,
clothes.
it's drop shipping but for clothes, and and
It'd
it's
be
kind
like,
of more popular on Pinterest because a lot of people that's like the cheap place like
yep,
Etsy.
yep.
And personally, I don't really trust Etsy or Pinterest. I just go on there for ideas every now and then. But like people actually buy stuff, and I've seen people like 70,000 people buy this, and I'm tempted, but I'm like, okay, I just got to figure out my life at the moment. Uh, but not just that. There's people that are instead of getting two jobs, and understandably so, are just starting their own thing.
Goddamn.
Nothing happened. Their own thing, which fair enough. I don't blame them. I want to as well. I don't have the money. I also don't know how to start it up. But people are also wanting to just be content creators more. Say whether that's on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch,
Yo,
anything.
twitch.tv/SquizzyG.
Squizzy G. I don't
Shameless plug.
stream. I don't stream, so follow him. But yeah, no, there's so many things that people are doing, and it's crazy. Like, oh, also with surveys. People are doing a lot of surveys. I've seen so much shit about that recently.
Like
I have in
that.
the past.
Wait,
But
like that shit where it's like, yo, fill out the survey and we'll pay you money.
yeah,
What?
yeah,
Wait, that's an actual thing.
yeah. No, so that has been a thing, and I've seen it like ages ago, and like fair enough. Like
Yep.
some things it might not seem trustworthy, but if you fill it out correctly and make sure everything is 100%, you can get some sort of app which will track how much you're making per hour or survey.
Uh huh.
It'll accrue it into that. You can take that money out,
What?
which is crazy. And some of these can either pay like $75,
Uh
some
huh.
can pay 20, some can pay 130. It's crazy, but apparently this is an actual thing. And if you know what you're doing, like some, if you don't want to sit on the computer, if you want to do a survey that's like more than 5 minutes, you can easily get like $75 out of it. More than 5 minutes.
That's crazy.
Like my learning for calls, I fucking hate doing because that takes me at least like 5 hours.
Yep.
I'm not even kidding you. I done one modular which took me 6 hours, and then I had a second one, and I have to catch up on 20 more.
God
So I
damn.
skip everything, and I don't do it. So I don't care. But you can make a lot of money. People have actually done this, and it used to. It's probably more popular now as it's being brought up more frankly.
Hmm.
Um, but back then it wasn't as much, and it's not as trustworthy. But now it's pretty big, kind of. It's getting there.
Back to the just jumping back a few to the drop shipping thing.
Mm.
I know you have been looking at starting a dropship. I'm currently in the process of starting dropshipping. Everythingplus.com.au.
That is what it's
Maybe
called. That's his little plug.
maybe by the time this video's out on the Spotify, maybe I don't know
Depends on
about
when
the
that is.
YouTube,
Yeah.
but it'll be everythingplus.com.au. We'll have a whole bunch of stuff. That's what I plan on, like endeavoring on trying some dropshipping. Because I have looked into it. I've done thorough research, and from what I can tell, it isn't uncommon to be earning about 10 grand a year within your first year. And like, it doesn't sound like a lot, but that is a lot of money. And I realized if you could like scale your dropshipping to being, I don't know, 10 grand a month, that's that's a
Ooh.
hundred. But like the thing is, that's like, it's a business. That's $120,000 a year. If you think about it, 120K a year for a business isn't a whole lot, provided you get your branding big enough and you scale well enough. 120K a year isn't a lot for a business to be able to clear, especially one as simple as dropshipping, when you're literally just the middleman for selling, the current fads and trends and fashions and shit like that, which is, I guess, why it's so popular and why it's so hard to actually get a foothold in. What do you
Yeah,
tell us
no, that
about your dropshipping ideas
well,
or your brand, I
you know,
guess?
that I want to start a clothing line,
Uh huh. Uh huh.
different to drop shipping, but I do want to do drop shipping.
Uh
What I'll call it, don't know,
huh.
but I definitely want to do a clothing line. But drop shipping obviously being different, um, way different to just normal clothing. Like, yeah, I want to do that. It just depends on what I would want to sell. And like you said, you want to sell pretty much anything. It's called Everything Plus. You can do whatever with that name.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
But I don't really know. I guess depending on if and when I start my clothing line, if that picks up, I might even just stick with that.
Absolutely.
But depending on how this goes with the vault, not only can I guess you can integrate everything plus, but you can also do the clothing line and then make it like some sort of collab where it's not just like our podcast, but your drop shipping and then my clothing line. It makes sense, right?
I agree.
Depending on where it goes.
For full transparency too, I do eventually want to scale the dropshipping to an actual business. That is something I'd
Yes,
like to do, and I think a business called Everything Plus would fucking slap, not just a a
the name's good.
dropshipping site. Yeah, I
The
do.
name is good,
The more I say it, the more it's like kind of
and it
sticking.
makes sense. It sounds good. It
Yeah,
sounds good.
it sounds
Like,
weird if you think of it in a context of like Everything Plus is in like plus size clothing and stuff, but
yeah,
when you push that aside, Everything Plus does sound kind of cool.
it sounds like you're just
I'll
willing
fuck with
to
it.
sell anything, and it doesn't it
I'm
doesn't
a
matter what
fucking
you need.
sellout.
It doesn't matter what you sell. It literally
Yeah,
suits the name.
yeah. It's like the
Like it,
Wish of dropshipping.
Wish on
Except
dropshipping.
quality products. None of this like shipped from. I'm not gonna discriminate any countries here, but we all know.
Yeah, yeah. Even though it's like on every fucking like shirt known to man.
Yep,
Like
yep.
I don't know, like with the clothing that I want to do, I do want to change the name, which we've spoken about. I'm not gonna say it on the podcast
Oh,
because
okay,
I wanna think about it more.
okay.
Or
Well,
fuck it,
what if you put it out there what you wanted it to be,
yeah,
and then
and
anyone
then
listening could give you some ideas or some
give an idea.
incentives?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so
because I'm pretty
I
sure we
wanted
spoke
to.
about this in episode 1. Just real quick, sorry.
Oh yeah, we did. We just say like, oh, I need help. All this stuff. You know what we want to do.
Yeah.
Um, but I wanted to call it top 12 or something like that. I don't know, or 12, whatever it was. And I don't know, because of young, like, I know a lot of slang today. Uh, it probably doesn't have anything to do with it, but I think it sounds cool. I was thinking of instead of calling it like top 12 or 12, calling it Dapper 12. Because one, 12 came from my name when I was like 10. My brother gave me a Skype name of Nelly Monster 12. It's now transferred over to Discord, to Steam, to Valorant, to any sort of game that I play. It's been with me all my life, and I've not changed it because that's now me.
It's who he
Um,
is.
I'm just that guy. So 12, I've always stuck with, and so I'm always happy to have that. But I thought having Dapper in front of it, like, oh yeah, just go to this website, Dapper 12. It sounds fucking sick, you know. Like personally, that's my thought instead of like, oh yeah, go to top 12, or like I don't know.
Top 12 sounds like a sporting brand.
Yeah, like and then eventually I want to like make shoes like within that brand. Like I don't know. I want ideas. Give me ideas. I
Damn,
want
boy,
something.
you got the new pair of them Dapper 12s.
No. That's just the company name. This is the company. Hey man, you got those Yeezy Booster D3 Dapper 12 kind of shoes on. Yeah, bro, that's me. Like I don't know. Having some ideas that would help me out would be great. You guys listening, help me. I'm special. Um,
The good kind.
like the
I
good
mean,
kind.
there's no
Yes.
good or bad kind. Shit.
Yes. So, if you guys could give me some ideas, that would be great because that is what I want to do.
So
It's just
we've got top 12. We've got everything plus. We've got Squizzy G on Twitch.
the vault.
We got the Vault. How did I forget that, bro? What the fuck? That's a lot of
The main
endeavors
one that
we're
we're on.
currently chasing. Yeah, I know, right?
Hey, but
That's
the
a
thing
lot of
is, like,
endeavors we're chasing. But sorry,
like we're young and it's
yeah,
achievable.
yeah,
And
absolutely. We got to. You'd be surprised what you can do in a year. I remember. I can't remember. I've seen this many times, and I can't. I can't remember who said it, where it came from, but it's like you overestimate what you can do in a month, and you underestimate what you can do in a year, which is
I have not
kind of
heard
cool to
that one
think about.
before.
You haven't?
I have not,
Damn. Yeah, no, I've
but
heard it a
it
few
sounds
times.
interesting.
Yeah, like, because, I know this from experience with streaming, like, I would set my expectations so fucking high for what I am. Like, realistically, I'm a fucking Twitch channel, 500 followers. That's it. And I'd be like, yeah, I want 20 viewers by the end of the year. But that was unrealistic in hindsight, and it made me burn out my streaming. And so here I am starting again, starting fresh, trying to not
Able
burn
to
out this time.
redo stuff,
Yeah,
try
yeah, yeah,
everything
yeah,
new out.
yeah. It's not too late to
Like,
learn something new.
like, if it falls through, being young, like that's the thing. Like, yeah, it'll mess you up, but you can also either restart it later on or pay off all the massive debt that you're gonna be in and then give up. But like, it kind of just depends on who you are. Like, I definitely want to. I'm sick of being fucking poor, to be honest.
Dude, that is the
Like,
exact thought I have. I just like every single time. It's just I don't want to be poor. I don't want to
yeah,
be poor.
that's all it is. I'm like, man, I'm fucking sick of being poor, man. So that's literally the only reason why I wanted to start it.
Yeah.
Like when I was in high school, I was like talking to my brother. I'm not gonna say how he is towards me, but I brought up the idea of wanting to do it, and he's like, "That's a fucking stupid idea." I'm like, "Thanks, man," and it's really put me off, and
Sibling support's
and
the
I'm just
best.
like, later on, I'm just like, "Fuck you! I don't give a shit about your opinion. It's what I want to do. Fuck off." And like, he's still cool. We're still cool. I don't see him. I'll talk to him. But nonetheless, right? I'm gonna do it anyway because that's what I want to do. Like I'm not the one to put off anyone's ideas, unlike him. But other than that, other than that, I that's what I want to do. I want to start it off. I want to not be poor. Whether I am known to people, I do not care. I just want to do the business. It's interesting to me.
Absolutely, I agree. It's good experience. You learn a lot. Like I used to,
Yes.
just in terms of speaking on experience and stuff and doing everything and shit like that. I used to be heavily into the crypto trading, and
That
thank
fucked up.
that no, thankfully, I got out with all my money and my profits before shit hit the fan.
It got so
Like
fucked.
I think I only did it for like a year or two. Not even that. It was like a year, and I came out with more than double what I invested. So
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. But like it's just knowing it's like being a jack of all trades almost. Like knowing how to do all these different things is so good. But like you said, mainly I want to delve into like business, entrepreneuring, and stuff like that. I
Not
think it's
being
very cool,
poor.
especially because these days, with how many different social media platforms there are, all of this stuff is like so doable. It's like one viral TikTok video, and you've got 500,000 followers.
Oh yeah, you literally get like 5K, and it won't be like a popular video, but the more people that share it, I guess it's either one person's gonna get 500 million views,
Yeah.
this person's gonna get 5K, but it's the same clip.
Yep.
Like it's gonna be
It's a
out there.
random algorithm, but you can capitalize on the randomness and try and make it happen to you.
Mm. Like I just don't want to be poor. Like
Yep.
if
Just don't
if
want to be poor,
if if anything like comes out, man, that's gonna be crazy. Think about it. I could buy some new dad shoes. Like
dude.
I don't know.
I think we just found the title for this episode. I don't want to be poor. I
I
kind of like.
like
I
that.
like that.
Just it'll be titled housing market slash not being poor. That's literally gonna be the whole thing. But I think that's kind of like
It all ties
cleared
together.
up most of like our topics for today. We've
Yeah,
definitely
I think so.
gone into it. We
There's
can
a
definitely go into some other stuff later.
Yeah, there's a few things we could have missed that we can touch up on again, but I think we've definitely covered the basis of all of it. Granted, a lot of this stuff, like the side hustle stuff, in hindsight, the side hustle stuff and the housing stuff, probably didn't need to be in the same market. In the same market. Oh man, I'm
Yes,
stupid. In the same
same episode.
podcast, yeah. But
Mm.
we made it work. We made it work, and it was
It made sense later on, anyways. Like it,
yeah,
it just
yeah, yeah,
led
yeah,
to another.
yeah, yeah.
Like I think we've definitely covered everything. So
Absolutely.
reckon we're good to end it there.
I mean, I suppose so. I guess. If you guys have any podcast ideas, let us know in the comments, or email us thevault616 at gmail.com.
Yeah,
Um,
we can talk about topics.
shit, bro. All right, there was a random little jump cut there. Sorry, I accidentally slapped stop recording.
Which one? Oh,
But
stop
I start
recording.
no, no, I started again. I started again, just so I can
Okay.
actually get the outro. I don't even know why I did it. I was just hovering it, and I'm just like, click. I'm so sorry. All
Oh my
right,
god.
that's fine. It wouldn't be a scuffed podcast without some fuck
Exactly.
ups. Um,
Any topics? Email. We need
yeah,
ideas.
yeah. Email, leave a comment
And
in the video. I'm assuming if you watch this on YouTube, comment down below, give us some ideas. If you listen on
also,
Spotify, you can't really do anything on Spotify.
yeah. Also, business ideas and
Yes,
help
give it.
with names
Yes,
and
yes, yes,
what can we do? Because I
yes.
need that. So, I guess we'll end it off there.
Anyway,
Thank
yeah,
you
I
guys.
suppose.
Email us. Yeah.
Goodbye. Have a lovely day.